The only bullish narrative that I'm seeing for Bitcoin right now is that we might be able to get above this prior market low that we set back in June of this year. If we're able to recover back above it, we could actually have a chance. I'm going to be covering that plus a bunch of other really important things because Bitcoin ended up slipping down into the $15,000 range today and now making a really big recovery back up. This is really, really nice. This is exactly what we want to see. But guys, Bitcoin's still fooling most people, and we're going to be covering a lot of what's going on, going into a lot of details. First of all, before I get into that, guys, I tried to do a live stream today, and it took me 1 hour to try and get that live stream up, and I couldn't. I delayed it. It still wasn't working. I have no idea what went wrong, but I'm going to come back with more live streams as time goes on. So if you want to see them, smash up the likes. Thank you all so much for your patience. I do appreciate you all. Let's get straight into this, though. Let me just double check I'm recording because I don't want any more tech issues today. Bitcoin ended up bouncing up quite nicely right here. And actually, what's interesting is that Bitcoin bounced right around the time of the news that Binance said they're not going to be acquiring FTX. So if you don't know about that news, don't worry, it's a little bit too late to know about it by now, but it was one of the things that I was surprised to see. Literally, the hour of the news was here that day, and obviously rumors were going around while the market was still dumping, but the news dropped on this candle, and then the recovery started, which I thought was quite interesting. And what we're looking at now is a nice jump back up above 17.6. And guys, I was hanging out with someone really cool. His name is Jason Pizzino. I think this is how you spell his name. Search him up on YouTube. He's a really, really good technical analyst. I was hanging out with this guy out here in Australia, and one of the things he was saying to me today is that if Bitcoin can get above 17.6 and close above this level on the weekly time frame, then we might be okay. And you know what? I do agree with that because there's some really cool charts here that I want to show you. One of them, let me tease it for you, is this chart right here. Let me hide my my camera. It's this chart right here, how Bitcoin, kind of fell down to the bottom of this falling wedge, which we've been talking about for a long time on this YouTube channel as one of the most bullish charts that Bitcoin has. Now, do I think Bitcoin is going to use this and pump out? No, but it's interesting to see that this is working nonetheless. Let me get my camera back on. So that's something which I want to make you guys aware of. The fact that we've now recovered back above here is nice, because if we end up closing now, what this essentially means is that this has turned into a very fucking scary liquidity run at the end of the day. Like, all we're looking at here is that the market just slashed down, dropped quite low down to grab a bunch of liquidity, scare a bunch of people, get the scared money out of the market, and then, potentially continue rallying up. So that's one potential explanation of this. And the thing is, guys, when we're in a market like this, the key thing is, there's only one thing you take away from this video today. I hope that it is that when markets kind of have this kind of price action that we've displayed over the last couple of days, especially with this kind of whiplash, kind of upward price movements as well, almost like a rubber band kind of snapping in the opposite direction. When markets do this, they are one thing only, and that is very emotional. When markets are very emotional, they become very predictable, and we actually tend to follow blueprints of things that have happened in the past, things that are actually quite predictable. And I'm going to be showing that to you in this YouTube video. I'm going to be showing you what that means, because guys, at the end of the day, I am a technical analyst, but technical analysis is only a study of psychology, right? The only thing we're doing when we're looking at these lines on these charts and so on and so forth is we're analyzing psychology, we're putting it into numbers, and we're putting it into patterns that we can understand as humans. So this is only a study of psychology, and at a time like this, the market is very predictable as far as psychology goes. And let's just get straight to it, because guys, at the end of the day, I don't want to waste your time with this. People are fucking scared, and when people are scared, people are also desperate. There's a lot of desperation. I don't want to talk too much about it because it's upsetting because of what happened with FTX, but a bunch of people not even able to access their money on this exchange and get their money out because of the withdrawal issues. Guys, I don't want to be the one to just be like, hey, I told you so. But if you were watching this channel for a really long time, fuck me, guys, I've been extremely vocal about this, saying that you need to have backup exchanges. You need to have your money split across different exchanges if you're a trader, and at that, you need to only keep the money that you want to trade with on those exchanges. If you're using exchanges as a wallet to keep your funds, bad shit like this is going to happen to you. Mark my words, it will happen to you. It's just not sensible to do whatsoever. So what I've always been saying when I've been plugging Bybit and plugging BitGet on this YouTube channel here, guys, is that yes, you can get these amazing bonuses. You can get this fucking 30k ridiculous sign up bonus on Bybit. You can get these great, it's not loading right now on BitGet, but you can get these great bonuses right here on BitGet. Very, very easy to get. These are nice, but the reason they're important is because if your exchange goes down and you don't have a backup exchange, you're screwed. But if you've been trading on 2 or 3 different exchanges and then one of them gets hit, you only lose potentially a third of what you've been trading with, as opposed to losing it all, or as opposed to the really, I don't even want to call them unlucky because they're downright fucking stupid, as opposed to the stupid people that keep their life savings on exchanges. When you keep all of that risk in one place and then something goes wrong, I mean, you're setting yourself up for a problem. So this is what we've been saying for a long time on this YouTube channel. Unfortunately, many of you guys, it seems, haven't been affected by that. So I'm really, really happy to see that. But, you know, this market is becoming very desperate. And one of the functions of desperation is that when we start getting these kind of bounces, guys, a lot of people, they start feeling like, you know, the market might be back. And you know, in this case, for somewhat good technical reason, right? I mean, if Bitcoin can actually recover back above our prior low that we set right here, well, that's a really, really strong bullish sign. That's a really bullish sign, a very, very strong sign, in my opinion, showing us that the market is actually potentially in a really nice position. If we're able to get back above this low, and if we close above, then that just means this was a temporary, basically a fake out, especially if it's only lasting 1 day and we close up above here. Now, bear in mind, there's 7 hours left on this candle, so anything can still happen. But if we do manage to close up above here, this would be a really, really good sign. But it would mean that our next challenge is going to be this area of resistance. And that's what I was saying to you guys in one of my previous videos here. I was saying that even if Bitcoin ends up kind of recovering back up, we are now going to be most likely encountering this area as resistance. So I want you guys to be keeping a very close eye on this, because if Bitcoin is able to get back into this range, I think a lot of excitement might be able to set back into the space just temporarily. You know, is this real? Are we going to keep bouncing up? But this is going to be resistance most likely. And I did also say in the previous live stream, shout out to those of you who were tuning in, and by the way, thank you all for the support that you've been showing on this channel lately. Thank you all so much. By the way, you know, if you are enjoying this as well, please do hit up those likes. What I was saying in the last live stream is that there is going to be a lot of, you know, exit, you know, kind of liquidity up here. You know, there's going to be a lot of people that want to get out of the market, you know, and they're going to be looking for a reasonable technical level to do that at. And this is the level that makes sense, right? I mean, it's just because this is where Bitcoin was consolidating just before we had that run up and then subsequent dump down. This is where we found support on the way up and resistance on the way down. I'm sorry, support on the way down and resistance on the way down as well. So you know, there is a lot, I think, that you know, is potentially going to contribute towards this range being really problematic for Bitcoin. So please keep an eye on this, and don't let yourself buy into the excitement. This is where Bitcoin's going to be fooling a lot of people. Now, if you're wondering why this bounce happened in the first place, though, I think that this actually could be down to the CPI data, which comes in right here, where inflation eased to 7.7%, which is a little bit better than what many people were expecting it to be. You know, and with lower inflation, you know, hopefully comes just a nicer economy. You know, so Bitcoin potentially bouncing on some of that news. Let's actually take a look at what's happening to the S&P 500. Look at this, guys. S&P 500 now in that resistance range that I said I think we're going to be entering. No surprises here. We were giving you guys this analysis very consistently. I was saying that this is resistance. We're probably going to get rejected here, but if we get a pullback, we're going to have a much easier time getting into this range. So bam, there we are, still looking really, really strong. And this is the thing, right? The S&P 500 is looking really good. The dollar is looking really weak, guys. Look at this again, a new firmly lower low. I mean, honestly, like I wish that we could celebrate this a little bit as Bitcoin traders, because obviously traditional finance players are doing really well today. You know, S&P 500 up by 4 or 5% is a big deal. And not only is it up by 4 or 5%, guys, it gapped up, right? It opened and it instantly jumped up by 3%. I mean, this is some really, really excited price action right here, you know, showing us that, yeah, traditional finance players are really happy, and that has come to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is up by way more than that. Bitcoin is up by 12%. But of course, you know, is it too little too late, right? Because we have already dropped by so much, and we're potentially only going to be falling into resistance. Rising up into resistance areas, which could cause problems for Bitcoin. So these are the things that I think are worth taking into consideration. But guys, we start looking at things like Ethereum. Look at this bounce up that Ethereum had. Ethereum from its low to where it's trading right now, up by 22%, to its high up by 25%. Ethereum's right back in the game. Guys, Ethereum is right back in the game. It's almost like much of this bad stuff didn't even happen, and this could have just been a little flash, where things get better now. And I think that's what a lot of people are going to start to believe if we start to hold these price levels. So I want you guys to be really, really well aware of this. Now, right now, we are under all of our resistance areas. If we start looking at a more kind of normal chart right here, let me just remove all of these lines because we don't need them right now, and take a look at this on the 4-hour time frame. Guys, if we start looking at what some of our key indicators are showing us, this is not a good picture for Bitcoin right now. 4-hour time frame, we've started to develop resistance, and it's pretty low. It's at like 18.5, so basically the bottom of this range. If we look at the EMA ribbon, it's actually getting close to us. Let's wait for this. Bam, right there. We're pretty close to it right now. We're only like $400 or $500 away from it. If we look at this on the daily time frame, everything is flipping bearish right now. All right, if we look at the daily Ichimoku cloud, we've had a very obvious rejection from this cloud right here. Now, what I think is great for Bitcoin is that if we do manage to mount an attack, and critically, if we get above this area, our resistance cloud still isn't too thick, right? It's definitely thicker than this window of opportunity that we had before, but there's another window right here. It's not too bad, right? If we're able to get above these resistance levels, I think we could be looking at a potential recovery for this market. But that is a very, very big if, because I don't want you guys to start believing all this hype here with Bitcoin potentially recovering. Because like I said, there's going to be a lot of desperation in this market. People are going to really be trying to fit their own narrative with what's going on in the market. They're going to almost be blind to anything that doesn't support what they're looking at, which is normal. That always happens. But I think especially more so right now, and especially with pumps up like this, because at the end of the day, guys, when the market has basically dropped, from here down to our low, this is a 24% drop within, not even a day and a half. You have to expect some relief, and we didn't really get any relief with this drop down, right? We got this little pump up right here. Okay, this was 6% in 3 hours. It's something, but it's not, it's not a long-term move, right? I mean, in this case, we've been moving up for about 20 hours. We didn't get any like 20-hour pump before. This was a very short-lived move up, only a resistance retest, and then bam, right back down. But this is our first kind of real recovery since we were trading up at $21,000. We fell all the way to 15K. So of course we're getting a fucking bounce, ladies and gents. Does that mean that this bounce is going to stick? And does that mean that we're actually going to be able to rally higher? I don't want to get on that bandwagon just yet. I do see why this is a good thing, right? At the end of the day, if the market is able to hold above this price level right here, then this means this was all just a liquidity grab. This was all just for very smart money to get into the market, buy Bitcoin, and then ride this whole thing up. Obviously, that would be an exciting narrative to buy into. But right now, let's just look at the core, the basic facts, guys. Bitcoin fell from 21K down into the $15,000 range. We fell deep into the 15K range, guys. We bottomed at 15,500. We fell deep into that range. And now we've gotten, what is this so far? A $2,200 reaction rally, right? So the whole drop from top to bottom, a 5.2K drop. Now we're rallying up by 2.3K. I mean, it's nice. Don't get me wrong. This is the right thing to see. But it's just I don't, it feels wrong to already start getting excited by this. And guys, one of the things that I want to do here is just throw a Fibonacci retracement just to show you what it might look like in terms of where Bitcoin might be able to get up to. I think this really tells us a lot right here. If I just draw two horizontal lines at the key levels on this Fibonacci level, on this Fibonacci retracement, we've got the 382 level right here, which is where we're currently trading, and we've got the 618 level up here. Just for fun, I think this 19.4K level is also important. And if I now remove this Fibonacci retracement, guys, look at how important these price levels are. If we zoom out onto the 4-hour time frame, this tells us a very, very important story. Our Fibonacci retracement already lines up with areas that we know we should be expecting a lot of resistance. And I've been talking about this 19K range already throughout this video for a good amount of time, and look at where these key Fibonacci levels line up, right? So if Bitcoin is going to get back up here, the thing that this Fibonacci retracement represents, right? If you didn't know, what this represents is that we've made a huge move down. We might retrace 61.8% of this rally. So if we measure this in terms of pixels, let's say, and then we take 61.8% of those pixels and draw it up, it would take us up here. So this isn't a 61.8% pump. This is just if we look at the height of the rally, we're probably going to be recovering up by 61.8% of what we dropped. And so the reason that I think that's a big deal is this is a very common retracement target, or 382. They're mirrors of each other. These are very common retracement levels before the market potentially continues traveling in the upward price direction. So really what I'm getting at here is that for me to be convinced, yes, it's nice to see that Bitcoin has managed to get above this prior low that we set back in, where is it? It's not on this chart. Let me zoom out. This prior low that we set back in June. I like seeing that. That is a good sign. That is the right sign to be seeing at this in this market at the current moment. So I like that, and I'm very happy with it. But we need to do a lot more for me to be convinced that Bitcoin is going to be in a good position. Are we showing the right signs so far? Unequivocally, yes. Is this still overall a really fucking bad situation? Unequivocally, yes. And the reason for that is we've already dropped down so low, guys. We've already dropped down so low, and the markets are reacting to positive news. Positive news doesn't last forever. This is a barrage of horrible things that are going on right now. So I don't want to be expecting that this gets better anytime soon. Okay, this is not the kind of time where we can just easily kind of say that things are going to get better. But anyway, let's take a look at some of the other things that have happened. Solana up by 26%, huge move to the upside here. This was an area of support for Solana. I wasn't saying it would pump up from it or anything, but it was an area of support which we had drawn already. And resistance for Solana doesn't really exist until probably like $30. So yeah, it could theoretically, yeah, fairly easily kind of double, at least $22, I think, on the cards here. This kind of volatility brings so much trading opportunity. And guys, if you're looking for one exchange that hasn't had any controversy, it's Bybit. Bybit has been around for a solid minute in this space, right? Since like 2018, 2019, and nobody has ever heard of any, not to say it doesn't happen, of course. I don't know what's happening behind closed doors, but I haven't heard of any issues with Bybit. Nobody else that I know has heard of any issues with Bybit, and obviously whispers go around the space, right? Especially between YouTubers, and so I've been confident to keep my money on. I say that, but nobody knew that FTX was coming, so it can happen to any exchange. But I'm very, very comfortable with Bybit. Have been for a long time. I've got my trading funds on Bybit, and I'm open to that risk. And guys, at the end of the day, with these kind of bonuses, I mean, this is fucking ridiculous, right? So if you want to get up to $30,000 for free that you can trade with on Bybit, follow my link in the description down below. I think it's the first link in the description now. And of course, if you want to get this bonus with BitGet, bearing in mind that this is the exchange that doesn't require KYC, that doesn't require a VPN, that has very high withdrawal limits, that works just as well as Bybit and the others, you are getting a very easy $400 bonus compared to what other exchanges are offering when you follow my link in the description down below. These exchanges both offer the ability to trade all of these markets that we're discussing today, or at least nearly all of them. Guys, look at this list of derivatives pairs just on USDT. And we're going to talk about USDT, by the way, because people started to get scared of USDT again. If we look at the chart for USDT, it fell down by about 2%. I was talking to you guys yesterday about how USDT hasn't even fallen by 1% and everybody is panicking. USDT then fell by 2%. Everyone lost their minds. I literally didn't even see the chart at this time, and it had already recovered back by the time I saw it. People are getting really stressed out over very small things. This kind of depegging has happened multiple times to USDT in the past. Sometimes it's lasted quite a bit, like here in 2017, but ultimately USDT has always been fine. And I'm not saying that it's always going to be that that way, but guys, we've had depegging before, and it's really not that big of a deal in my opinion. You know, I mean, shit like this happens occasionally, and it's not something to be so scared to the point that you're nearly paralyzed. You know, this is just something that happens to USDT every now and then when people are scared, but it stood the test of time. You know, I think everybody is just kind of scrambling for reasons to be scared right now. You know, and I'm not playing that game. You already know the deal. Where's FTX token? And FTX token also recovering a little bit, because there is a little bit of hope here in this market that FTX will be okay and that people will get their money. And I think you know, that's also going to be because of what Sam is saying, and the fact that, you know, it seems like people are interested. By people, I mean really big players. It seems like really big players are interested in helping FTX. Does that mean it's going to happen? No. You know, but at least this is looking more hopeful than, you know, something like Celsius or Luna was earlier this year. So I'm going to talk about all of this a little bit later. I do just want to stick to the analysis of this video for now. Like I was saying though, if you do want to take advantage of these bonuses, just pause the video and go check them out. If we come right back to the chart though, and discuss a little bit more about what's going on, actually one of the key things that I want to show you is just this layout of how this is a very, very important level for Bitcoin, so that this wick, if it does turn out to just be a wick on the weekly time frame and then we close up above, this will actually look really good, right? As far as Bitcoin goes in terms of grabbing liquidity down and then moving back up, this is one of the best signs we could have gotten. Given that we've already fallen down here, it is the best sign we could have gotten, so this is great. You know, but it's now going to be about, do we get that follow through, and crucially, do we start getting above these key resistance areas in this 19k range right here. The next chart that I want to show you is this one right here. Let me hide my webcam so you guys can see this again. This is the big rising wedge that we were talking about, with price targets up towards 60k. It's very nice to see that we've bounced off this area. Clearly there's a lot of buying support with this diagonal downward trending resistance line right here, so this is something I'm going to be keeping an eye on. If we end up pumping to the upside, that would mean a high at 22.5. That's not really in the picture right now. We need to get above 20k to even start talking about any bullish case scenarios for Bitcoin, but at the same time, it's nice to see that we're getting this bounce. And I'll tell you what's really nice, guys. Let me bring my webcam back on here. What I'm seeing that's really nice right here is the dollar, because again, I mean, I don't like seeing the dollar crash. It's not good for Americans, and if it's not good for Americans, it's not good for everybody else either. But you know, as far as speculation in these markets go, we have now dropped by 4.2% in 7 days. This is a huge drop for the dollar, and it has even fallen out of its only bullish pattern that it was in, as far as I'm aware. This is the only bullish pattern that I saw for the dollar. You know, let me know if there's anything else, but I don't see anything else. This is a very bullish pattern. It failed, unequivocally failed. Yes, this could be a fake out and the dollar can recover back up, but I don't think that really happens with the dollar. The dollar doesn't tend to fake out very much because it moves slowly. But still something to be keeping in mind. Obviously, I could be wrong about this. You know, this will depend on if we get daily closes and so on and so forth. But anyway, lower inflation will mean people don't want to be in the dollar as much, and they want to get back into other currencies, just in terms of how it's perceived as positive news. It shouldn't really be that way. Higher inflation generally means that prices of things will go up, but nonetheless, this is where we're at, and the market is reacting positively to this. The good news that I'm seeing for the dollar here that I've been talking about is that I'm not really seeing any support until it drops perhaps another kind of 5% down. So you know, that could turn into many more opportunities for the market, and if the dollar is going to continue this free fall, you know, that's probably going to mean really good things for the S&P 500, and if it means good things for the S&P 500, that will hopefully mean good things for crypto. You know, so it could just be a case of, you know, one bad actor gets flushed out of the space, and then we're getting ready to potentially you know, continue to skyrocket right here, and the market recovers, right? I mean, I don't want to you really kind of buy into that idea just yet, but I am putting it on your radar, because this doesn't have to be as bad as it looks. It is currently, like I said, it's going to take a lot to get out of this, but if we keep showing the right signs, I don't have a problem changing my mind on this. All right, when market conditions change, I'm happy to change my mind. My God, if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be making any money in these markets. It's a very good thing to be able to do that. And you know, one of the cool things I'm seeing for the S&P 500 is that if this strength does continue into Friday and then the following Monday next week, you know, we could be looking at some really nice moves up to grabbing our next area of resistance just above 4,100 right here, which I think is absolutely amazing. That would be great. And I think that if the S&P 500 is able to rally this hard, given that Bitcoin was dragged up with the S&P 500, and because of the dollar dropping down today, I do think that Bitcoin could, make a better recovery. So, while I've been saying in the past that Bitcoin is at the mercy of the S&P 500, I think that applies even more so right now, because this is basically the only thing that I think is helping Bitcoin right now, other than the fact that Bitcoin is also just in a very basic dead cat rally or reaction rally, when it's already dropped by so much. And I think that's kind of one of the key things to be keeping in mind right now, is that this has such an overwhelmingly high likelihood, in my opinion, of being a dead cat rally, especially when you consider that this dump was near non-stop for so long. Like I was saying, in terms of these price levels, like you have to expect a $2,300 bounce, right? I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that the market is healthy, and I think we have some signs pointing to that. If we look at the volume, we've still got majority red volume in this market. We're getting some nice green volume spikes, but it's really not as high as we want to see it right now, and it's definitely not eclipsing the sell volume. So guys, I mean, what kind of conclusion do you want to draw off that? You know what I mean? When all indicators now are overwhelmingly bearish, this is the 1 hour EMA ribbon, doesn't really apply right now because we've bounced up so much, but let's take a look at it. Yeah, it was offering a little bit of resistance. We're now above it. But we look at the 1 hour Ichimoku cloud and look at what we're about to hit. I mean, I'm not saying that this is going to be a problem for Bitcoin, but the signs are clear, guys. We do have resistance developing, overhead, and this is in a time where the market is very fragile. One of the things I said in yesterday's live stream, once again, shout out to those of you that are smashing up the like, subscribe, tuning into all of this content that we're putting out for you guys completely free of charge on this YouTube channel. Those of you that did tune into that last live stream, you're going to remember that I was talking about how we are going to be facing big issues if we continue to rise up, and it's I mean, these are things that are fairly obvious, but I think people just forget about it. I think people just forget about it at times like this, and it's always been the case on this YouTube channel. We've been saying that things don't move in straight lines, right? We don't fall in straight lines. We'll always kind of get these reaction rallies, but that doesn't mean that, we're then immediately out of the woods. So this is something that I'm going to be watching to see how it develops. Right now, I'm happy with what I'm seeing. There's a lot of speculation to be taking on in this market. I've been filling VIP members and gold members in on some of what I'm looking at right here. So if you want to join 4Fly's VIP, you can get inside by following this link right here. If you just open up the description of my YouTube video right here, and then come down to this link right here, 4Fly's Gold, once you click on this link, it's going to take you into this channel where you can click on my name and join the channel if you want to. Once you click on my name, you can send me a message and ask me how to join 4Fly's VIP, and I can get you inside. This is my VIP group where I'm telling you absolutely everything about every trade I'm making from start to finish, from idea to execution to refinement to taking profits or managing a loss, and the lessons I'm gaining from these trades. It's a really, really in-depth experience, and most people who join are getting the 4Flies Academy courses free of charge with that as well, which is absolutely amazing because that's a lot of value to have side by side, right? If you can learn everything that I know about trading and analysis from A to Z in those courses, the theory, and then see the practical applied with VIP side by side at the very same time, guys, that has been a very, very powerful process for a lot of people that have taken up this offer. It's been completely transformative for many, and for others it's really helped them refine what they were already doing well. So it's well worth checking out. I was making some really good plays inside of 4Fly's VIP, including, none of these are loading up right now, but yeah, I did pull some really nice profits. Here's a VIP member that did very, very well, and yeah, I don't know, none of these are loading right now, but you've seen the profits. Just yesterday I did do a little bit of very degenerate trading, and fortunately I made money, but it was a stupid idea, and I told VIPs that it was a stupid idea, and I shouldn't have done it. But unfortunately I did have a little lapse yesterday. I'm just glad it didn't result in a it wasn't necessarily a lapse. They were good positions. They would have made me a lot of money, but I didn't hold on to them for long enough. I got cold feet. I wasn't comfortable, so I just took my money and I just fucking left the market. You know, I mean, that's ultimately, that's one of the best things you can do. I mean, if you have the opportunity to take a bit of money, move your stop loss to break even, limit your risk down to 0, there's no shame in doing that. At the end of the day, your account balance can only grow, and that's something that I firmly believe in. That's something that I firmly live by, you know. So that's something that VIP members have been able to see me constantly implementing. But I don't claim to be you know, a god tier trader or anything like that. Never have, and I certainly never will. Well, I must have said shit like that when I was like 17, long time ago. I must have talked shit like that before, but yeah, it obviously, or was I 16? I think I was 16 when I was saying stuff like that. But obviously, you know, now a little bit older, a little bit wiser, more aware of how to be humble as a trader. And so if you do want to see, again, what that kind of process looks like, it is going to be right here. And again, guys, take advantage of these huge offers. It's not just the 30K one. This is obviously a pretty hard bonus to get. You've got to deposit $250,000, but the other bonuses are fairly easy to get, you know, and especially compared to what we were looking at before. Some really nice, like 5K bonus right here. Very, very cool indeed. Yes, there are big deposits right here, but if this is a little bit too large for you, BitGet's deposit bonus scheme is so much better, and of course it's available anywhere in the world as well. So this is really, really well worth checking out. So if it is something that you're interested in, go ahead and check them both out with the description, with the links in the description down below. Like I said, dude, with fucking 30K available up for grabs with Bybit, this is ridiculous. So guys, go sign up, go get these bonuses if these sound cool to you. Obviously, no matter what you do, like I said earlier on in this video, I think I said this earlier on, I've recorded this video twice, by the way, so I don't know what I've said and what I haven't said, and I was trying to do a live stream earlier as well. It's just been a whole technical issue mess today, but you know, I've been saying this for years, that it's a good idea to have multiple different exchanges with multiple different accounts to spread out your risk in case something has an issue, right? So I'm not saying that Bybit is never going to have an issue in the future. I certainly don't think they will, and I've had my money with them for years without issue. I've never heard of any drama whatsoever with Bybit. That doesn't mean they're squeaky clean. It's hard to imagine that anyone is squeaky clean in this industry, but ultimately they have been around for a good minute. FTX was also a major player, but they were newer than Bybit. You know, Bybit has been around for longer, and you know what? I don't know. That's the kind of thing that gives me confidence. You know, I've met with the CEO of Bybit myself. He seemed like a nice guy. You know what I mean? I mean, these are all very, very smart people at the top. But Ben is a very cool guy, very normal guy. You know, and I have faith in what these guys are doing. So I've been comfortable to be with them for a long time. I've been comfortable to trade with them and to keep my money on the exchange. But obviously, no matter which exchange you're using, it doesn't make sense to keep more money on there than what you need to trade with. And that's also something I've been saying for years. So again, I'm just glad that I haven't heard of our community on this YouTube channel getting affected by this. I mean, I literally maybe have heard like maybe one person that's been affected by this. I mean, obviously a bunch of people have been affected by this and haven't told me, but it's definitely not the core community of very you know, consistent viewers that are watching this channel all the time that seem to be affected by it. So I might just be wrong, and you know, those of you who have been affected haven't said anything to me, and you know, if that is you, I'm fucking sorry, man. I mean, like it sucks. It's really, really bad. But you know, it does feel like we're quite insulated from these kind of problems, including, you know, the shitcoin disasters that go on, because you know, we know that the real gains are to be made in Bitcoin, and anything that we can't make in Bitcoin that an altcoin can make, you know, we might find in Ethereum or just in derivatives trading, you know, just trading derivatives, which means trading Bitcoin on leverage. I know that many people are against this idea, but guys, my perspective is fairly straightforward. You know, if you learn what you're doing and you understand the risks and you study the market, I just don't see how this is such a bad thing. You know, many people say that this is super dangerous. Yeah, it is, but trading crypto is super dangerous too. You know, you don't have to look further than these shit coins just falling off the fucking map overnight. You know, this is normal behavior for crypto, surprisingly. And you know, and so, you know, to then go out and just say derivatives is dangerous is totally fucking what is the word? It's totally inappropriate. I mean, it's not real. It's a cope, really. At the end of the day, it's just a cope. So it's definitely not something that I agree with. You know, I think that these markets are dangerous as they are, and a derivatives trader that knows what they're doing will be safer than an altcoin trader. And I've said that for years, and I stand by that up to today. And the best proof that I have of that is simply the fact that when things like this happen, I don't lose as much money as the shitcoin traders. Bam, I'm done. Thank you all so much for tuning into this video. If you've enjoyed it, you know what to do. Smash up those likes, subscribe, tick the bell, do all that good stuff, guys. Go get your bonuses if you're curious to get all that free cash. Get yourself inside of 4Flies Gold by following this link in the description down below for more free analysis for myself and my team around the clock. We've been posting so much inside of VIP and so much inside of gold within these last 24 hours, within these last 72 hours even. A lot of free value coming at you guys, and once you're in there, you can follow these steps on the screen to join me. Once again, guys, sorry for all the issues with the live stream earlier today. I will fix it and I will come back, and I'm going to do much more regular live streams if this market volatility stays with us. So if that's something that you want to see, smash up those likes, let me know in the comments as well. Thank you all so much, and I'm out. Bye.